Recently on the Circuspreneur podcast, I spoke with Dr. Melanie Stuckey, who is a phenomenal researcher connected to ENC, or the National Circus School in Montreal, and she was discussing different levels of mental health research that she's been doing along with another fantastic group that's joined forces called CIRC, or SIRC. And her and I have had so many conversations about mental health in circus arts and things that maybe would lead to, acute mental health issues and problems. And one of the big ones that came up and keeps coming up, and something I've spoken about so much on the Circuspreneur podcast, is the effect of social media on circus workers and on circus artists in negative ways. Yes, you can go viral, and obviously we're all called and almost forced to be on social media now with our careers in a way that we never were before to get the job. So many people are getting hired off of their social media followings, and that was like unheard of, about a decade ago. And Dr. Melanie and I were discussing the stress and strain that it can add just to your overall career and daily life, and feeling like you have to feed the machine of social media, and the stress that it causes, and maybe even the money that it causes you, and even the injuries that end up happening because you are spending more time on social media trying to sell yourself, or selling a version of what you think you should be selling for your career, or overtly teaching on social media in ways that makes it difficult for you to do your job later in the day. And I think that's a real threat upon us. And I myself have, discussed very openly about trying to keep up with social media and how challenging that can be and time consuming, and, trying to offer tips through so many different portals of how to make social media easier for you as a worker and have some kind of presence there. Because obviously at this point in time, again, if you're the best person for the job, how unfortunate would it be that you lose the job just because you have like 100 followers on social media, and you're up against somebody with 100,000 followers on social media who is not at all as qualified as you. And that's not to put anybody down, right? We're in a very different age and in a very different time. However, sometimes facts are facts. That is really and honestly the reality of certain situations, and I've seen it happen many, many times over the past several years now that social media has just become the thing. But again, is that part of your brand strategy? Is that part of how you need to operate in this business to a certain extent, depending on how you have come into this business? Not everybody is being ushered into this business from a circus family that can get you jobs and get you connections. Not everybody is coming from this space where you came from a good circus school and, you're invited to get connections through that. Or you have a coach that can get you a circus job because they have a connection to a top circus company, and they know scouts and things of that nature. You might just kind of be coming from out of nowhere and trying to build your career, or you've come from a long time ago and your career was strong and thriving before social media, and you made those business connections and you made a name for yourself, and so you actually don't have to put much out there because you have built up a certain database and reputation that can still get you jobs beyond what you post on TikTok or on Instagram or on Facebook, or on YouTube for that matter. So how do you feel like social media affects your mental health, either positively or negatively, as a circus artist? Because again, it could be negative, it could be positive. There are, the collaborations of it all. So many folks are making their living off of social media posts and off of collabs and off of followers and off of views, and again, off of being seen on these platforms. And that's, again, a valuable thing. Maybe that's the bulk of where your money comes from, or maybe you're putting in so much effort and you're actually not seeing yourself become a circus influencer and you're frustrated by that, and that's adding to your mental strain. Or you feel like you have to keep up with, the following that you do have, to maintain that, and is that putting pressure on you since you're doing things that are dangerous, that need a lot of concentration, and sometimes it's not maybe the best thing to be doing 6 to 12 different social media posts in your day trying to work things out, and then it can leave you more exhausted to go teach or to go coach, or less concentration for your performance job or any of the things that you might be involved in the circus arts industry. So I think that this is a very positive and necessary ongoing conversation to have, and I'm very curious to see where Dr. Melanie Stuckey is going to take this as well with her research moving forward, because I feel like it is a topic that is brought to me regularly by folks feeling burned out, or like they're just never doing enough, or that they could just never post enough or post the right content that is going to do it for what they need to represent themselves in this day and age. So I didn't say everything, I didn't see it all. I have even more opinions about that, but that's just a little tidbit of what struck me at the end of our conversation that we had today. And tune into the episode with Dr. Melanie Stuckey. It's out right now. It's mental health research in circus arts, and she's fantastic. And I'm so fortunate to be advocating alongside of her and bringing her to DC with me recently. It was great.